Hello and welcome everyone to Creative Cloud Express. How's everybody doing today? It is so good to be here. My name is Voodoo Val and I am going to be your host, your Creative Cloud Express guru and guide today. And I'm going to lead you through some super awesome things within this excellent program. I'm super pumped about it. I'm going to give you folks kind of a quick overview of what we're going to be doing today and this week. And then we're going to dive into some pretty epic designing. So today, we are going to learn how to build a brand within Creative Cloud Express. And building a brand is super awesome, but also very important because it allows kind of a seamless and easy, quick way to dive straight into the application and create some graphics, promos, posts, book covers, whatever it is you're looking to do very, very quickly. Which leads me to my favorite thing about Creative Cloud Express is that I can access it from anywhere, with it being kind of a mobile and browser-based application. I can jump on whenever I need to. I can apply my brand to whatever it is I need to use, and I can be ready to post things so quickly and so efficiently. And I'm going to dive over here. Let me show you what we're looking at. So as you can see, if you folks are new to Creative Cloud Express, maybe you've used it before, but maybe this is kind of a brand new thing for you. Maybe you're wondering how to get into this and how to use all of this stuff, because there are so many things here that we can dive into. I can actually jump into any one of these amazing posts. I can create a YouTube thumbnail on the go. I can create a resume, invitations, all kinds of things. And I can dive in here and I can just apply my colors, my logo, my fonts, everything I need for my brand to one of these and make it my own instantly. And so we're going to come over here to brands, and I'm going to show you what I've got going and how to create one for yourself. So I've got a brand here created for myself, and I've also got kind of a test run, a brand created for the projects that we're going to be doing this week. But I'm going to start from scratch and show you how I put this together. I'll dive in here and just give you kind of a look-see at what we've got going here. So I've got my personal logo for my Voodoo Val brand in here. I've got the colors that I prefer to use. I'm sure it's a huge surprise that everything is purple. And then I've got some fonts that I prefer to use, which means that if I come down in here, I can apply or create any of these that already have all of my personal specifications applied to it, which is great. But we're going to come back to brands, and I'm going to just jump right in and say, create a brand. So when you do this, it's going to take you to this page that allows you to upload a logo, a series of colors and fonts that you prefer. And you get this nifty little preview over here that's going to kind of give you an idea of how all of these things sort of work hand in hand and work together. And we're gonna go ahead and upload some assets. First, I'm going to peek into the chat though. I see so many familiar faces. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see you. I see everyone is very excited to kind of jump into what we've got going. It's good to see all you folks. Welcome in. All right, so let's go ahead and upload a logo. So this is going to open my branding assets that I have here on my computer. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a black logo for my brand, and you can see here it changes everything in my little preview, so I can start to see what that's going to look like. I'm going to snag a color for myself here, and believe it or not, we are not going to be using purple. We're going to be using a nice burnt orange that I prefer, which is actually my second favorite color. And I do have the code for it here, so I'm going to go ahead and type in my color real quick just to make sure everything is very accurate. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and you can see that does a nice little update there for me, so I can see how everything's looking. And then I'm going to grab a font, and you can upload your own font here if you like, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with the fonts that Creative Cloud Express gives me. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with maybe this LTC Bodoni. I think I'm going to go with that. And you can see that gives me a little update there, and I can start to see my brand really coming together. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next here. And we'll call this the title of our fictional company, which is a fictional kind of mystical, magical jewelry company, is Athame. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. I'm going to say create my brand. And it'll tell us to hang tight here. And we have our little brand page here. And you can see all of the different previews and things it gives me if I'm going to be creating a page, editing a video. I can personalize how my logo and tagline and everything is displayed so that when I apply this brand to any of my templates, I have more of a specialized, personalized way that I'm doing this. Is it possible to put a workable link into a flyer for Facebook? Well, how about we edit a Facebook flyer today? We'll jump into it totally for you. Thank you, Barbara. Also, happy Valentine's Day. Yes, indeed. Welcome in. Sean says, what? Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing. So I'm going to add some more logos because I've got some different colors and variations of my logo that I would like very much to be able to use today. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of these other colors of my logo and get those in. I've got kind of an amethyst, a burnt orange, a black, and then I may also add kind of a distressed version of my logo here. We'll go ahead and close that. And then I've got some more colors that I want to throw in here because I want to make sure that I can use a few of my other colors. So I'm going to throw those in. I should probably make sure I've got my cursor in the type region there. That might be helpful for me. Let's go ahead and add this nice amethyst, which is part of the logos that I've got going there. I want to make sure that I have some accent colors to go with any logos that I choose to use. We're also going to add kind of a lighter color than the amethyst that we've got going on, so I can have like a nice accent color. I've got kind of an interesting earthy green color that I think will be nice if I decide to use some green, which I think a lot of the vibe that we're going to go through for this is going to be kind of mystical, kind of earthy, with kind of a warm flair. And I'm sure that you can see that starting to develop here as I start to add these in. So I'm going to put this color in here, and then we're going to add one more, and that will be it for our colors. Let's go ahead and add kind of a brighter orange, which I would really like to use. Let's go ahead and hit 459. Boom. Oops. 459. There we go. All right. So now we have this nice collection of colors, which I really favor. I think that this is a nice, good palette for us. I'm going to go ahead and exit. And I am going to leave that there, but just to give you a little more information about fonts, you can come in here and you can select fonts that you'd like to use, but you can also hit this suggested font pairings button here, which is really awesome if you're like me and sometimes maybe you struggle choosing fonts that look really good for your brand. This is a really excellent way just to come in here. You can flip through and you can choose something that you feel works really well with your brand, paired with something for body text, which is awesome. So if you would like to do this, this is really great. And I can show you just if we decide we're going to choose one of these. I think I'm going to go with, I think actually one of our fonts that we're using. Yeah, the LTC Bodoni is used here, and Acumen Pro semi-condensed. So you can, pick that and replace, and it would just update whatever headline and body text you were using. And there we go. So the first thing we're going to do this week is we're going to create a couple of really cool kind of posts, things that I feel express the vibe of this brand. And we're going to use those kind of as a baseline look for everything that we're going to do going forward this week. Let me peek real quick at the chat just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I just found out about font pairings recently, and it helps a lot as someone who knows nothing about typography. Yeah, it was a really big deal for me too, because like I said, I kind of struggle choosing fonts, I could choose a good headline font that looks really cool for the brand, but sometimes I struggle to choose one for the body text, and something that's easily readable but still goes with the vibe. So that was very, very helpful for me. Comic Sans ought to be enough for anyone. General Kenobi. Come on. Okay. Did you use Adobe Color for your palette, or did you choose them yourself? I did not actually use Adobe Color for my palettes. I guess I didn't choose the colors directly from Adobe Color. I did go there to kind of look at some color palettes that I thought worked well together. And I did see some that included like warm oranges and greens and purples, but I did kind of want to choose my own. So I did that this time. And then I just checked them next to each other to make sure that they looked nice. And I think that they look pretty good. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go to home. And we're going to search through here for some things to create. Now you can come in, like I said, you can do Instagram stories, you can do Instagram posts, backgrounds, you can do book covers, you can do flyers, you can do all kinds of really awesome things here. But what I think we are going to do for now is we are going to make kind of a title post. I suppose you could say that it would be an Instagram post, but we're going to make a title post that kind of displays the vibe of our brand. And we're going to do that with a template and from scratch. So first of all, let's go ahead and snag a blank canvas. We're going to go custom size graphic. You just hit this big plus button over here and it shows you all of the wonderful things that you can do. So we're going to be working with images today, but as you can see, you can trim, resize, and merge videos. Here you can convert from video to a GIF if you need to create a promotional animation or something for your social media if you're promoting something. And you can go through all of the basic themes and genres of our posts. Here you can convert things to PDF. Super awesome. But we're going to jump into create custom sized graphic. I'm just going to work with a square. 2560 by 2560 is fine for me. However, if you would like to come through and flip around and find yourself a default size for something specifically, if you're making a Twitter post, you want to post to Twitter, it'll give you those that exact ratio. You can go in through for print, social profiles. So the difference between social posts and social profiles is social posts is the actual post that you would make to social media, but social profile allows you to create graphics specifically for the branding. So we've got our Twitter header, Etsy cover, all that good stuff. Standard different things which you can slide through here and check out, but we'll stick with custom and we'll go to next. So I've got my blank canvas here, and what we're going to do is we are going to drop in some of our different branding assets from our brand. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit logos here on the side, which you can see we've got access to so many different things, so many wonderful assets, but we'll go into logos. Oh, and you know what? I actually need, before we jump in here, I actually need to make sure I set my brand as default, because right now I've got my personal business. So let me come over here. We won't save because I can just open a brand new one. Go into brands. My personal brand is set as default. So in order to set something else as default, you just want to come over here and say make default, and that is the default brand that will be set going forward. All right, now let's go ahead and go back to custom, create our brand, and then we're going to throw in a logo. And like I said, this is going to be kind of our baseline piece. This is going to be our graphic that we are going to use that really embodies the look of our brand. So we have kind of a reference point going forward to create everything that we're going to be making for it going forward. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything from you folks. Another button that keeps us looking smart and speedy without the client knowing. Yeah, suggested font pairings. Indeed, indeed. So I feel like it's something that a lot of people struggle with a little bit. So if you're somebody that, you know, struggles with pairing fonts, Don't worry about it. I do all the time. I am a designer by trade. This is what I do for a living, and I still struggle with it sometimes. So don't feel bad. And if you do have problems doing that, like I said, we have our magic font pairing button, so you will be fine. Lots of people appreciating the font pairings. You don't choose colors, colors choose you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so we've got our logo in here, and I am going to add some text. And I'm going to, you can come in here and you can add some of these really awesome pre-made font effects if you like, groups of different layouts and things for text. I just want to add our brand company title. So I'm just going to hit add your text here for now. And then over here, you can see as I've added my text box, we get this really nice kind of panel that pops out here that allows us to do a lot of wonderful things with our fonts. So I am going to double click, gives you a little prompt here, double click to edit. And I'm going to go ahead and write our company brand name in here. And I am going to, I can apply the font that I have kind of thrown in. I just kind of chose one for our brand, but I know that there's another font in here that might be really, really cool to use. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Lust. Lust is a really great one as well. And you can come back and edit anything that you would like to edit. If you would like to change your brand fonts, you can. You're not constrained to use your brand fonts once you have your brand built. It's just a very easy and quick way to make sure that you're using the same fonts, the same colors, the same logos as you go through. And I think Lust is also a great one, even though they kind of paired us with the font, because I feel like the shape of all of our letters actually kind of go with the shape and style of our logo as well. And what I'm going to do is I am going to select a new color, and you can see here, I've got my current Athame palette set up here, which is awesome. So I can come in and I can click whichever colors I want. I think I probably want to leave it on the orange, but I can do that. It also shows me a current palette. It's also showing me a suggested palette. So this suggested palette is really great because if I'm working with other templates and things, or I bring in some icons or whatever it is that I want in certain colors, sometimes those colors will pop up in suggested. So even though I have my Athame colors here, I can still kind of go back to previously used colors, add something to that as I go along and all that good stuff. I'm going to tone down my, maybe we'll actually make this a little larger. I don't think it needs to be gigantic. I think that'll probably work. And then I'm also going to change my spacing, my letter spacing right here. We're just going to kind of bump that across. Okay. We're going to throw that in there. Just make this cool little lockup. All right. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. I have not made a single Star Wars pun since we've been here. And I'm very proud of myself, which is usually all I do. And it is, yes, it is Valentine's Day. And I feel like the Lust font is a very romantic, sort of sultry font, which will work wonders for the current day. So we're going to go with that. And then now we got to spice this up. So I feel like my font looks really cool with my logo. I'm very proud of my logo. I think it is kind of mystical and magical. And as we get further into the brand, I think you'll start to see that it matches our vibe. But now we want to put something in the background to really spice up this this post that makes it look cool and gives it the aesthetic that we're going for. So I'm going to go ahead and put a background in here. And as I just click on background here, it knows what I'm clicking on, and it's asking me if I'd like to change a color or choose an image. And I would like to choose an image for my backgrounds. So we're going to grab an image, but we're not just going to use the image. We're not just going to throw an image back there and leave it as is. I'm going to show you how you can apply filters and all kinds of awesome effects to your background to really give it some more pizzazz, some more oomph, if you will, of something that you can do within Creative Cloud Express to make an image your own, even though we're using the featured photos and things that are included. Something that if somebody else used Creative Cloud Express and used the same image that you used, you still would never know that they are the same because you can spice it up that much. So I'm going to come in and look and see what we've got. I might actually, it'll open photos for me, but I might just open backgrounds here. And I'm going to scroll through and see what we have. My brand consists of, it's mostly a jewelry brand. And this jewelry, like I said, is kind of mystical, magical. We're going to be using a lot of raw metals, a lot of precious stones, raw crystals, things like that. So I think I definitely want to snag something that is like nature inspired. I think some good textures of something earthy and natural would look good. I do love the terrazzo texture, but I think we're gonna kind of go into stone because I feel like a nice stone background would look great. And then I think I'm going to choose something dark because we have some lighter colors here, but I'm gonna go into dark stone and kind of search for something around in here that I think looks good. And depending on your own taste, maybe you're not a dark stone kind of person, but I really love this kind of stuff. I'm just going to go with this one here. And it adds just this really nice texture in the back. And I like this one because it's got this subtle texture in the center and then almost around the edges, around the corner, so as not to encroach upon our design too much. It has this nice texture. So we've got our logo, we've got our text, we've got our background, but how do we make this spicy? Totally official professional term, make this spicy. So I'm going to add a filter. I'm going to go ahead and toggle my filters on over here. And one of my favorite filters to use is duotone. And I love duotone because you click that on and you can see it does give me a current shadow and highlight color, but I can come in here and start changing it up and really, kind of selecting what it's got for me already. But I would like to go with kind of an earthier tone here. So I can click something. I think these are good earthy tones, but I'm going to go ahead and hit shadow, and you can see that I can actually edit specifically. I don't have to stick with these preset colors that it gives me, although I can choose them. And I'm going to make my shadows just a little bit darker. I want to maybe something saturated but dark. And then here in my highlights, I am going to grab something a little closer to our orange color here, and I might make it slightly brighter, more on the saturated side so that it's bright, yet it blends in with our logo and everything. And I think that looks cool. I feel like it's subtle. I feel like with these colors, you can't really tell that it's stone in the back. It could be marble, or it could be, it almost kind of has the texture of like dead leaves, something like that. And I think that looks pretty darn cool. I kind of want to make sure that okay, just making sure, just double checking that our text is the same color as our logo. Let me hop on over to the chat and take a look. Do you have any specific steps to upload any of those graphics to any media platform without it looking pixelated, since some platform only requires a maximum of 2 MB, for example? How do you mean? You mean when we export, when we download and export our finished our finished designs, and then how would I then upload that to the proper social media place in a way that looks high quality? I feel like, if that's what you're asking, I feel like the one thing that is imperative to do when you're working in Creative Cloud Express is to make sure that if you're designing for something very specific, to use, rather you're starting from a template or from scratch, just using your own custom canvas size, to make sure that it fits within the boundaries of wherever you intend to upload it. I've done that myself personally before, where I kind of created just a square and went to upload it someplace that, uploads square designs, but it didn't really fit. So the beauty of being able to do projects in Creative Cloud Express is that when you go, and I'm going to go ahead and download this just so that we have that. When we go to create something, we can actually use the specified size for each social media platform, and that it's going to fit. That when you upload it, it's not going to be some wild thing that it has to auto what is the word I'm looking for? Kind of auto condense down for you, things like that. Let me know if I'm on the right track for that. I think we are coming to the end of our stream, unfortunately. And I did want to kind of dive into a few more things, but I think that Sam posted or a moderator will share with you a Discord where you folks can jump in and let me make sure here. Maybe that was the link to, yes. So we do have a community Discord if you'd like to jump in. I'm going to post this work that I did, and I'm also going to post some other ones that I have created along the same lines. I believe we had a question about Facebook and all that stuff, so I'm going to make sure that I answer that. I will jump into the Discord and make sure you get the information you were looking for. And I think that's all the time we have for today. The end of that kind of came up on me. This stream was awesome and fun. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. I have a blast with this, and I can't wait to do some more streams for you going forward this week. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I hope that you are enjoying Creative Cloud Express for yourself. I can't wait to see what you create with it, and I will see you another time. Adios, folks.